Let's build a habitat for the Pallas Cat from the newest Zookeepers Animal Pack in the Elm Hill City Zoo. This grumpy cat from Asia will be the final cat that will be adding to the Wildcat house in the Elm Hill City Zoo. I love this cat so much and I hope you guys will enjoy the video. Hello guys, this is Cesar Creates and welcome back to my channel. It's time for another episode of the Elm Hill City Zoo, and today we'll be adding the first animal from the new Zookeepers Animal Pack, the Pallas Cat. We'll be adding the Pallas Cat to our Wildcat house in the Elm Hill City Zoo, and after we'll be done with this enclosure, the Wildcat house will be done in terms of all the animals that I wanted to include here. I had space for one more enclosure in here. Previously, I thought about adding the lynx in this exact spot, but now that we have the Pallas Cat, I think it is even better. So yeah, the Wildcat house after this episode will be sort of done. I still need to finish some things in the interior, but I don't think that I will do like a separate video of finishing the house. I will just do it like in between of other builds in the Elm Hill City Zoo, and then I will show you the final thing when it will be actually done. But yeah, very happy that it is finally finished after such a long time. I don't even remember how long ago I actually started it. So this is our first build for the animal from the new Zookeepers Animal Pack, and this is actually a third video about the new pack and about the new update that I am uploading to my channel. So in case you guys haven't seen the full showcase of the Zookeepers Animal Pack, where I go through all the animals and all the building pieces and also the new scenario map, I will put the link down in the description and on the screen. And also there is another video where I go through everything added to the game with the new update 1.18. So this will also be in the description and on the screen right now. In there we are of course mainly focusing on the African leopard, but there are some other new things that were included for free in this update. So very cool videos. They actually took me so long to record, so I would really appreciate if you guys could find some time to actually watch them. The fact that we finished the Wildcat house, like sort of, we added all the animals to it, doesn't mean that we won't be adding the African leopard to the zoo and also the Eurasian lynx that we are still missing. As I told you guys in my last donkey habitat or donkey barn that you guys really enjoyed, so thank you so much for that. The comments under this video are just so amazing. The African leopard will be included in a special building that I plan to build soon, featuring some African animals, and also the Eurasian lynx. I think I will add it to the area that I plan to build for the markhor, takin, both species of panda, maybe also a sloth bear, with Asian animals that come from those more mountainous regions, colder climates. The Eurasian lynx also lives in that same area, so I think it simply would make sense to add it in there as well. So yeah, I will include absolutely all of the cats that are available in Planet Zoo, so in case you are a fan of them, you don't worry, they will be here. So let's briefly talk about the plan for today's habitats. If you have watched the previous episodes of the Elm Hill City Zoo, this structure that I copied from somewhere maybe is like sort of like similar to you, because I copied it from the Sandcat habitat. Because the Wildcat house is a very symmetrical building, everything is simply the same on the right hand side and on the left hand side and so on. I decided that it would absolutely make sense just to copy the structure to the other side of the building to simply keep the symmetry going. We are adding it in between the cougars and the Siberian tigers, so the shell or the exterior of the habitat will be simply very similar to the one that we did for the Sandcat, but the interior will be totally different. I will make it more suiting for the natural environment of the Pallas Cat, so it will be very rocky, inspired by mountainous regions. There will be simply a lot of rocks, and the Pallas Cat will be able to climb on some of those. It will have a lot of pine trees in there, and yeah, some rock shelves for it to climb on, some like dead birch trees, and simply stuff like this. I think that in the end it looks really nice. So the color of the Pallas Cat coat is this like grayish or a bit rusty, but normally it is like gray with some darker stripes, and they are masters of camouflage when it comes to the areas where they live, because the rocks in there are basically in their color. So if it lays like in between the rocks, it is so hard to spot it. And this is something that I also wanted to recreate. I remember being in Prague Zoo and seeing the Pallas Cat, or Manul, because they have those two different names, habitat, and I couldn't spot it in there. I'm sure that it was somewhere there, but there were so many like those gray rocks that it was hiding somewhere. And yeah, a true master of camouflage. I actually saw them in several zoos. They are often like sleeping during the day, so you'll find them sleeping on some like elevated parts of the habitat or just in between the rocks, but often it is very hard to spot them in those habitats. So I wanted to recreate something like this. There will be a lot of gray rocks in there. There will be like piles of the rocks where they could hide on. There will be like shelves where they can climb on and also sleep in there. So we'll do this both on the outer part in the habitat and also in the indoor part that we'll create at the end of the video. By the way, I am sort of lost when it comes to the pronunciation of the name of this animal, because there's like this double S at the end with the apostrophe. So if some native English speakers could help me, that would be amazing. Is it like Pallas Cat, the first option, or the second option, Pallas'S Cat? I don't know if there are those two S's like next to each other. Do you just like pronounce it as one S, or do you like make it like Pallas'S? I am not sure, so if someone could help me, because I don't want to mispronounce it all the time. I will call it Pallas because this is something that I heard more often. I just watched some documentary on YouTube about them, and they were calling it Pallas all the time, so this is something that I went for. But maybe it is actually a Pallas'S cat, I am not sure. So not only I wanted to make the whole building symmetrical, but I also wanted to make it a bit easier for myself. I had some more complex plans for the other habitats from this pack, so this build seemed like the quick one for me this time. I know I probably went a bit like an easier way just by copying this whole structure that I already created for another episode. By the way, if you guys would like to see how I actually created this whole cage, the link to the Sandcat habitat will be down in the description and on the screen right now, so you can go and check it out. So normally during the early access time, I try to record 3 videos. I do the showcase of the new pack, I do the showcase of the things added in the free update, and I normally update or upload a new episode of the Elm Hill City Zoo. This time I unfortunately was unable to do that because of some personal issues. I don't want to make this video too sad, but basically unfortunately I had to attend a funeral of my grandmother. Because of that, also some family from other parts of the country came over and was staying at my place, so I couldn't record as much as I wanted. So I had a very limited time, but actually having the early access and all that during this time was sort of like a blessing, because I could, focus on that. I really enjoy recording those showcases, but they always take so long to record because you have to wait for the animal to make a certain like animation, or I always want to record them like facing the sun so there's no shadow on their face or anything. So, and they never want to cooperate, so I have to wait for those perfect moments when the animals are actually, in the right position. They do the animations that I want to showcase, or simply I don't stumble and do a mistake while talking about the animal. And then there's the whole like editing and the thumbnail and everything, so it really takes a long time. So those early access are always crazy. So yeah, this time I decided to go for something much easier for the first habitat, but I promise you that the next ones that are coming will be really nice, because I have some amazing ideas. I already have some inspirations for the upcoming episodes. Actually, I won't be able to upload a new episode of the Elm Hill City Zoo, because the next video I want to upload to my channel will be again from the Elm Hill City Zoo for the new animal from the pack. And unfortunately it won't be out this Saturday because I have like this training at work that I have to go for 2 days. so I'll be away from home, from work, simply nothing too interesting, but I need to do it, so I won't be able to record anything because I will only taking my laptop, and this is not my PC. Actually, I will talk about my PC in a second because I've had so many questions about my PC and concerns and stuff like this that I want to talk about this. But I think that maybe at the beginning of the next week I'll be able to upload a new habitat from the Elm Hill City Zoo, and then I think we'll go to the Desert Adventure Park and sort of, you know, do the thing that we always do. But I really want to record more from the Desert Adventure Park because I have some really amazing plans for the desert village, and I also had some questions if I'll be adding the baboon and the spur tortoise to that village, and the answer is yes, absolutely. I will be adding them both to the desert village in the Desert Adventure Park. You guys are watching this video at the time that the pack is, I think, out, so tell me what are your thoughts now that you saw all the animals, which one is your favorite? I am very curious, and how you like Sifaka, because this was so like funny to me because of course I had the pack already when the Planet Zoo revealed the first screenshot of the Sifaka, and the whole like concern, hate, everything was spilled that this is the old rig, that you guys are certain that the rig is old, that it is just based on the older lemurs from the game. And of course I knew that this is not the case, and it was so hard for me to stay quiet and not to answer any of those questions or those angry comments. But yeah, it's amazing to see that Planet Zoo actually did so many new rigs for those animals from this new pack, and the Sifaka is just wonderful. So yeah, I saw a lot of relief under the showcase of the pack that I recorded. So sometimes for me it's really so hard to stay quiet, but there is the NDA that I cannot break, so yeah, I need to be quiet every time. But yeah, I wanted to briefly talk about my PC because a lot of you are leaving me comments like, I cannot believe that your PC is still able to handle this zoo after so many episodes and after so many detailed builds. I think that the big mystery is that as you can notice, I am always building on pause. That's the first thing. After building a certain habitat, I am normally removing the animals from it, so I don't have a lot of animals in the zoo because this is something that really affects the performance. I also have the zoo close to public, so there is no guests in there. I have the staff of the zoo cut to the minimum, so I only have some necessary stuff to bring in the animals to feed them, and that's all. And I also have a pretty powerful PC with the CPU, the Intel Core i9, and also I have a really good GPU. This is an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 or 4090. I don't really know about those things, but I also have a lot of RAM. It's 64 gigabytes. So yeah, my PC is pretty powerful. That's probably why it is still able to handle the zoo. But again, it, for example, takes me around 15 to 20 minutes sometimes to load into the file, and sometimes in several places in the zoo it is very laggy. But I am sort of very positive about the future of this zoo, because when I build in here I don't experience any lag. Of course, when I unpause, there is sometimes a bit of lag or something when I'm moving the camera too fast. So don't you worry, I think we are good, and I think that we'll be able to continue building that zoo. So the outdoor part of the habitat is pretty much done. I did a custom path in there, in the front of the habitat. I did some small fences for the guests, everything around to make it look nice. And of course I did the outdoor part of the habitat itself, with a lot of rock formations and stuff. Right now, as you guys can see, I am doing the indoor part that the guests will be able to see from the outside of the wildcat house, and also there is a window inside, so if there's a bad weather they can still see those cats. I'll create the whole backstage area off camera, so you'll see that in the cinematic shots in the second. But before the cinematic shots, I really wanted to answer one more question. A lot of you asked me if this is the last Planet Zoo pack, and you guys, I really don't know. I really don't know. I hope not, but there's a possibility because of the name of the pack, because of some other factors that it is. I really hope that there's one more on the way. Frontier likes to end the support of the games with a big bang. I don't know if it's a big bang, this DLC. It is amazing. I really love this. Some of the animals choices, like the animals, are amazing in this DLC, but I don't think that they are super groundbreaking. For example, they finished the Planet Coaster with the Ghostbusters pack that I think it was very big. Then we had the Jurassic World Evolution 1 with the Aviary for the Pteranodons. Then we had the 2 with the Megalodon that was very requested. So I don't know, we will see, but maybe there's one more with the Secretary Bird or with the walkthrough birds in the walkthrough exhibit. I hope so, but we have to wait and see. I don't want to bring your hopes too high, but I am sort of bringing my hopes too high right now. And with that being said, let's meet in a second in the cinematic shots. Even though this is not something really groundbreaking or new, I really love how this habitat has turned out. It is really hard to spot the Pallas Cat inside of it, and this was my goal. I am really happy that Planet Zoo decided to include those cats. I know that they were very highly requested by so many of you. To me personally, it was also high on my wish list as I saw it in many zoos that I visited. And those visits were the inspiration for this exact habitat. I didn't use any reference pictures, I just created something from top of my head that combines many things that I saw in Pallas Cat habitats in different zoos. The outdoor enclosure is probably my favorite part of the entire habitat, but I also really like the interior part. And I hope that I was able to sort of recreate the natural habitat of the Pallas Cat. I also created the backstage part with 2 different cages where they could be closed when the habitat is, for example, maintained, or when there's a little kittens on the way, so that the female is not bothered by the male. They can access the backstage through the indoor part, but also directly from the outdoor part, so they can simply run in circles around this habitat even though it has 3 different sections. Even though the model of the Pallas Cat in the game is not as like shaggy and fluffy as Pallas Cat in real life, I still really like it. I can understand what it was sort of hard to recreate in the game, but I really like the face of this animal. I think that the eyes are so amazing, and yeah, overall I am very happy that it was finally added. Okay guys, this is all that I have for you in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave me a nice comment. Tell me what you think about the habitat. I cannot wait to build the next one that I'll be building for the animal that I also really wanted to see in the game. If you guys would like to support the channel a little bit extra and become a sponsor of one of the habitats in the Elm Hill City Zoo, all you have to do is become a member of the channel with the join button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!